Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unit 3, Day 4. And today we're about to dive into the process of cellular respiration. So let's go ahead and begin. All right. So today's aim is how does our body obtain energy from food? And we're about to talk all about the process that releases that energy. That process is cellular respiration. And hopefully, you're already having some thoughts about cellular respiration and the things that we've discussed so far. But let's go ahead and dive in a little bit deeper. So, first question asks the energy released, or released energy. We're talking about respiration. So, the energy released when sugar molecules are broken down is stored in ATP, baby, because we're talking about the process of cellular respiration. And those molecules of ATP or adenosine triphosphate are the direct source of energy for the cells produced in the mitochondria. And you can see here, look at that, the mitochondria. The diagram below represents a cell organelle. We know it's the mitochondria involved in the transfer of energy from organic compounds. The arrows in the diagram could represent the release of, so what is released in cellular respiration? Well, in cellular respiration, we have three primary products that we're about to talk about. We have ATP, we have CO2, just the waste, and we have water, and also heat, just a little heat. So the arrows in the diagram could represent the release of ATP from a chloroplast carrying out photosynthesis, nah. Oxygen from a mitochondria carrying out photosynthesis, no. CO2 is our product. Glucose from a chloroplast carrying out respiration, no. Carbon dioxide from a mitochondrion carrying out respiration is our answer. This is the mitochondria. It's carrying out the process of respiration. And that CO2 is a waste byproduct of this process of cellular respiration, which we will talk more about when we talk about the respiratory system, which is involved in the gas exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, which you may have already started to consider. And part of the reason why our respiratory system, our lungs, exchanges oxygen and carbon dioxide is because carbon dioxide is a waste byproduct produced by our cells during this process that makes the energy that our body needs. Wild. It's like it's all connected. So our answers were B and D. So now let's read a little bit about cellular respiration. Oh no, why does it keep thinking I want to type today? All right. Part A, cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is the process by which the chemical energy of food molecules is released and partially captured. Keyword there being partially, because like we said, some is released as heat in the form of ATP. Carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, which we hopefully recognize as our biomolecules, can all be used as fuels in cellular respiration. But glucose is most commonly used as an example to examine the reactions and pathways involved. The equation for cellular respiration is oxygen plus glucose leads to carbon dioxide, water, and ATP, excuse me, which is energy. And this should look a little bit different on your paper with the arrow between the two, but the reactants are what go into the equation. It's what the mitochondria needs for cellular respiration to happen. So what's going into the mitochondria is oxygen, which remember we need to breathe in oxygen in order for this process to occur. And then also the glucose. And as the passage states, other things can be used as fuel for cellular respiration, but glucose is most frequently used to represent the organic molecules that go into the mitochondria. So when we write out this equation, we always write it out using glucose. And part of the reason why we use glucose is because glucose, simple sugar molecules, are readily available as fuel for cellular respiration, and they're also small enough to diffuse directly into the cell. So, what is respiration? Respiration is the process that the body uses to release energy from digested food. So glucose from our digestive system, oxygen from the breathing system, which is also called the respiratory system, leads to, and then this is representing the reaction taking place, this arrow, carbon dioxide, water, and energy. And the water that we exhale comes from this process. So cellular respiration is the process by which the chemical energy available in food molecules, example glucose, is used to produce energy in the form of a molecule known as ATP. And where does the glucose used in respiration come from? Our food. So it needs to be digested first. And that's why we're talking about cellular respiration now, right after we talk about the digestive system. Because after our foods are broken down first into just smaller pieces, they're then broken down into their constituent parts, into their monomers that can then be diffused into our bloodstream and into our cells to be used as fuel for this very important process of cellular respiration. Imagine that. So part B notes. And on your papers here, you also have a mitochondria here. And that's the powerhouse of the cell. And the reason why we call it the powerhouse is because of this process. So as you can see, cellular respiration requires glucose, C6H12O6, and oxygen. And to balance the equation, it's 6 oxygen, but we're not balancing that equation right now, although you will if you ever take AP biology. And gives off, so produces, and keep in mind that we're going to continue to talk about this process of cellular respiration, and there is a reason why the products and the reactants are important. It has to do with a cycle. We're going to find out the second half of the cycle very soon, so stay tuned. So again, cellular respiration requires glucose and oxygen. So glucose and oxygen go in. And then on the other end, what comes out produces CO2, so carbon dioxide, water, and the all-important ATP, the reason for the season, as we might say. This entire process occurs within the organelle known as the mitochondria, and this structure can be found within the cell. And I might have just called it an organ, but it is, of course, an organelle, and an important one at that. So now, in the space below, on your papers, explain the different parts of the cellular respiration formula, the products and reactants, and name the organelle in which this process occurs in 2 or more sentences. So because I want you to write this in your own words, I'm not going to give you my words, but you're just going to be paraphrasing this sentence or 2 sentences up here, right? So this process occurs inside of the mitochondria, and it requires glucose and oxygen for the reaction to occur. And at the end of the reaction, the products are carbon, water, and ATP energy. All right, that's all I have for you today, folks. So our aim was, how does our body obtain energy from food? And the short answer to that question is cell respiration. All right, please don't forget to complete your exit ticket on Google Forms. Please go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel, and go ahead and hit that little bell for notifications so you get notified every time I post a new video. Have a super fantastic day, and I'll see you all tomorrow on Zoom. Bye, guys.